I started when I was 16 and I'd done a hairdressing training and a barbering training, and I just couldn't stand doing ladies hairdressing. Decided that barbering was the way that I wanted to go, and that's where I've been ever since, and this is my 40th year. I studied at Steiner's Hair Academy in Grosvenor Street in Mayfair, and when I qualified I went to work in Islington, and I'm not a move around type person, so I stayed in my first job for 15 years and then moved on to the city where I stayed for 14 years, and then eventually came here, and I've been here for nearly 10 years now.
Wow. Okay.
I love working for myself now. I'd say it was probably very handy because long hair came in, highlights came in, perms came in, so I could do everything that a barber couldn't do at that time because I'd had the training to do both. Over 40 years I'd say I've probably been through some of the worst hairstyles imaginable, and probably now I'd say at the moment this is the best time in barbering. I absolutely love it at the moment.
And for what reason would you say that? I
love the styles, I love the creativity of it, I love the way everyone loves the job and got a real passion for the job, which I've always had. I've never lost that passion. I love cutting hair.
Never ever in 40 years?
No, never. Okay. No, I've loved it all the time. I love the banter, I love the people that come in the shop. I just enjoy my work. I love coming to work. And I think even if I won the lottery I'd still be here.
Okay, so
because I love it. I look at everybody's page. I'm a little bit nosy. I do look at everybody's page, and I love to look at all the young newcomers that are coming into it. But I also like to follow all the vintage barbers, because this shop's always been vintage since I've been here. It's not a new thing for me. I've always had vintage barber shop. I wanted it to be a traditional man shop.
Okay.
So I kind of follow at the moment I love Carl Classic. I love his page, and I like to watch people like that. There's
any other
quite a
names
few that I follow.
What's your top 5 names?
Oh, top 5 names. I like to follow Total Barber and the London Academy of Barbering and people like that, because I like to see the new ones that are coming up, and I like to see what they're doing, and it's a way of keeping up with new styles and just follow people. I've followed quite a few now, and hopefully one day they'll follow me because they like the shop and they like what we're doing. My style, I love doing the pompadour. I absolutely love that, because that I can incorporate my original hairdressing into that, and when it comes to the blow drying I don't need to put all the products on it. I can blow dry it to the height that I want to get it before I put a product on, instead of just putting a product on and spraying it and hoping for the best. Don't need to do that. I really, really wish I'd found him earlier. I've got a new barber that started with me 6 months ago, Lee, and he discovered them, and he's been using them in here, and I've watched him use them, and I thought, yeah, I'll get in touch with Larry the Barber Man and get my clippers, and I've just absolutely loved them. They are completely different to what I've been using, the super taper, all these years, and I wouldn't go back to the super taper now. In fact, we've now decided to put American sockets in and go all the way, so all the wires are hid behind the section, so you don't actually see the wires on the floor, and I wouldn't go back now. I'd say probably you wasn't confident enough in your fade. Even after 40 years of cutting hair, I wasn't as confident as watching Lee with his, and Lee would be flying with his. So yeah, it's given me a lot more confidence back into hairdressing. Not that I was ever worried about my hairdressing, but yeah, it's made me more confident with fading. Not categorically wrong, it's something that is a completely different way to the way that I was taught. I was taught to go in with the longest grade and slowly fade down. So you'd start with not necessarily a 4, but you'd start with a 4 and then you go to a 3 and then a 2.5 and a 2 and all the way down to your fade. So I can't actually get to grips with starting from the bottom. It freaks me out a little bit starting from the bottom, because it's like all off and then it's like, whoa. So now I still do the way that I've always cut hair, but it comes out the same in the end. And with the Andis Master, you can get down to nothing with that anyway. And you've got the guard on it to slowly move it down. So you've got a lot more confidence. Not a ninja trick as such. I would just say that have respect for your clients, look after your clients, and just keep your shop friendly and be polite and give really great customer service. Because the customer service will keep you up there, and if your barbering skills are good enough, you'll always be there. I've never been out of work in 40 years. I've got a lovely clientele, absolutely lovely clientele. I'm very lucky that the people that come in this shop give you that inspiration to carry on. Watching someone new that comes in the shop and knowing that you can always learn something from someone, and never get it in your head that you're the best in your game, because you're not. And there's always people out there that you can learn from, and every person that walks through the door that works for me, I can honestly say I learned something new from. So don't ever think you can never learn. I would say one, you'll never look back. You really won't look back. After 40 years of hairdressing, I would never go back to the walls we've taken out. I've got the Wall Senior, I've got the Andis, and I've now got the Hero. And I wouldn't go back to them. And the converter just takes the noise away. And I think once you kind of hide all the wires behind the cupboard and you don't see the wires everywhere, it's a fantastic tool. They're all fantastic tools, but the converter you need because of the noise level and safety. I've had quite a few really, but I think probably when you talk to clients and you ask them what they want, and they come up with some crazy story, like you get guys come in and they say to you, I want a medium haircut. What on earth is a medium haircut? And then you say, do you have a parting? And if they've got a bit of an accent, they might say to you, I had one for my daughter last Saturday. And it's like, okay, that's not what I asked you. So I think really getting people to explain what they want is probably get some really funny stories from that.
And the funniest one for you? Direct and
funniest
anecdote?
one for me is probably someone that I work with who's a French girl who used to sit the clients down in the chair, and she'd say to the clients, how do you have it off? And I think that's probably one of the funniest ones ever. And we had to tell her, you can't say that. You've got to change your wording. But I'll always remember that moment as being quite a funny moment. But you have funny moments every day, and if the banter's good between your staff and the clients, you'll always have a funny moment.